Hey guys, welcome back. A while ago, I did a challenge video where the task was to top score using Spy's worst loadout. And I want to do that again for my favorite class, which is the Engineer. He's my most played class, the class I find the most interesting, and so I'm doing it again. Now, Engineer doesn't have any bad weapons. The Thompson is the worst, but there is still a use for it. Click the info card to watch that if you don't believe me. So instead of just pushing all the worst weapons together, because all of Engineer's weapons are good, we're going for anti-synergy. Weapons that don't work well together. The Widowmaker, the Short Circuit, and the Eureka Effect. This loadout I will be naming the Metal Vulture, or Starving Engie. Both the Widowmaker and the Short Circuit use metal for ammo, and the Eureka Effect reduces metal pickups by 20%. But it gets worse. The Widowmaker returns all damage dealt to enemies as metal, right? Well, the metal you get for damaging enemies is also reduced by 20% thanks to the Eureka Effect. Not only that, but the Eureka Effect has a speed penalty when boosting buildings, so hitting it while it's building or redeploying only speeds it up half as much. It takes ages to put down or redeploy anything. It feels downright sluggish, and when you do put down a sentry, you can't even get as much metal back from ammo boxes. However, the Eureka Effect has the very nice bonus of being able to teleport back to spawn or your teleporter exit on the fly, something made even easier by a script I have that skips the menu. I just hit a button on my keyboard while holding the wrench and I teleport to my chosen location. This makes the Eureka Effect sort of an anti-jag, slowing down your construction and building hauling capabilities, but increasing your personal mobility to the heavens. Wrench warping from place to place is immensely useful and fun. It basically gives you a free escape whenever you're in trouble. Since the wrench warp has a long wind-up, you can't just use it willy-nilly, but you can still get out of sticky situations if you think a few steps ahead. The Short Circuit just launches a 65 metal costing energy ball that eats projectiles. It's hard to justify pulling it out since 65 metal costs as much as 2 Widowmaker shots, which could easily return double that amount of ammo if I hit my shots. I'll tell you this, I learned real quick not to spam the balls, because that's the fastest way to become a melee-only engineer. The challenge in this video is to get a 10 kill streak using this awful loadout. Why that instead of top scoring? Well, this loadout is so sluggish, and you spend so much time scrounging for metal and fruitlessly bashing your wrench against your lazy bone sentry while it creaks into place that I was always behind in terms of score. It felt like luck when I got close to the top, and I thought that staying alive through 10 kills with this loadout was challenging enough. So, let's begin. Our story today starts on Badwater, a pretty darn good map all things considered. Since I'm rolling out with a teleport wrench, I plop down all my buildings at spawn and race to get an exit put down. While I was doing that, some kind soul swapped to Engineer to help upgrade my stuff. Once I got back to spawn, I could very quickly take my level 3 buildings through the teleporter and get them in place before the round even started. This sentry spot is pretty cool, by the way. It covers almost everything and is only really vulnerable to a demo man spamming stickies, and only then when he knows exactly where it is. The round started and things went alright to start with. My sentry mowed down with Demo Knight, my team was just ruthlessly spawn camping them, so I pushed up. I could sit back and let my sentry do all the work, but I really wanted to give use to each item in this loadout, rather than leaning on powerful sentries to make the challenge easier. In the words of a man much wiser than myself, when you've invented a challenge this stupid, the only thing to do is introduce further stipulations to make it even more unfair. Then I wandered right up to their spawn, killed a sniper with the energy ball, lost almost all my health, and thought I should leave. So I did. I almost lost the tiny streak I managed to eke out when that same Demo Knight chased me down the tunnel, but he got cleaned up pretty quickly and I got out. I called for medic before realizing, wait, I have a spawn room in my pocket, and thus can easily refill all my health and ammo on my own, so long as I have a spare moment. It makes you entirely self-sufficient, not waiting on ammo packs to respawn or dispensers to refill, but without a teleporter exit, you do have to walk back. The rest of the round sadly passed without anything interesting happening, and 3 was my highest streak. Deciding to abandon payload, I shifted to King of the Hill. The maps are generally tighter, so it's harder for the entire enemy team to avoid a well-placed sentry gun. That was my theory, at any rate, but I die and die and die. Sentry builds so slowly, I can't put it anywhere aggressive. I often have to build it out of sight and then carry it to a good spot, but that has its own risks, and usually the gun gets destroyed before it finishes constructing. My aim is not perfect. The Widowmaker grants effectively infinite shots, but you have to hit those shots to keep the chain going, and I was very nervy and slightly dehydrated. It pisses me off how much water my body needs. I drink and drink and drink and I'm still dizzy. I have a huge thermos and I keep filling it with ice water and it's not enough. Okay, I'm feeling much better. I had some water and decided to give this challenge one more go. I whacked down a sentry facing the point, realized how many angles it covered, and made a mental note. I then put down an exit and my sentry noticed a person running behind. I went to go kill him and realized a fraction of a second too late that it was a sniper. No matter, frustrating as that might be, I have the strategy firmly in place, and my exit went unnoticed. I warped back to it, put down a sentry, warped back to spawn, got to level 2, and smacked it down in the same spot as before. I quickly topped off my metal supply. This is about the same speed as a full ammo box if your tele exit is close enough, and the instant my sentry is up, it kills something. 1 down, 9 to go. I get it to level 3, move it forward a bit, teleport again, and decide to walk back just to get some exercise. On the way, I decide to put down a, come on, a dispenser. There we go. More for the team than me. Scout rushed at me, so I ran to the safety of my gun while it killed 2 more people. 7 to go. It mowed down 1 other. 6 to go. I noticed a sniper hiding in my gun's blind spots, so I rushed in, missed a few shots, but managed to gun him down with the Widowmaker. 5 more kills. Our medic walked into the saw blade for no reason, and I got ambushed by a flare pyro. This part is so painful to watch. I got out of range of his fire and ran to a health pack. That's mostly fine. I might have burned to death running for the resupply locker if I teleported, but now that the fire's extinguished, my best option was to warp back to spawn, refill everything, and reset. Instead, I ran around like a moron with half health, barely won a fight against an engineer, and then, what came over me? I cannot guess. I dive bombed a revved up heavy on the point while still at low health. And guess what? He got me. I got within 3 kills of my goal and threw it away like a moron because my brain short-circuited. Oh yeah, I have the short circuit and haven't been using it, and guess what? That's not changing. There just aren't enough rockets for me to justify using it. A 7 kill streak. Wasted. I was so annoyed with myself. I can't blame random crits, or bad matchmaking, or dehydration. I just forgot about the most useful ability I had, and honestly thought I could take on a much healthier class when I myself was badly injured. And then a spy zapped my stuff, and it took so long to get set up again that the round was over by the time I had a level 1. Fine. Whatever. Next round. I got close, I just have to do it again and play a little bit smarter. Just a little. I went out there full of fire and determination. I got my sentry and exit put in the right spots and got a kill with it. But while I was warping to spawn and back, a scout killed it from a bad angle. No matter, the meager kill streak I had was still intact. I got another one going, got it to level 3, and chased the scout out of its range and got myself killed. What was I thinking? I wasn't. And since I was dead, the sentry died easily. But the exit didn't. I slowly, agonizingly got another sentry built. Not wanting it to go down to another corner-peeking scout, I scavenged and metal off a few corpses and managed to keep it alive. Cool. While I was stressing, the sentry was shooting and got 3 kills. 7 to go. I moved the sentry back to the previous spot and immediately teleported out. Better to lose the gun than the streak. Once it was fully deployed, I worked back and committed to playing only within its range. When my team all rushed the point to capture it, I took my chance and brought the gun fully inside and onto the point. The first spot had too many blind spots. This spot has blind spots too, but I figured I could cover those with my shotgun. My teleporter got damaged. I tried to warp back to it to save it, but it went down first and I ended up back at spawn. On the walk back, I caught up with the offending teleporter destroyer and gave him a face full of metal for his trouble. His mini almost got me though, so I, having learned my lesson from the flare pyro, warped straight back to spawn. Preserved the streak, which is now at 6. Just 4 beating hearts stood between me and completing the challenge. While I walked back, my sentry got zapped. I knocked it off, but the spy was long gone. Another separate spy zapped it again. Our spy just walked into the saw blade for no reason, and I saved it. Just in time, too. A scout ran up to the point and got melted. At the same time, a demo man started spamming at it, but I dodged his sticky and filled him with shrapnel. In the last seconds of the round, a third, completely different spy zapped my sentry again. I killed him and knocked it off, overtime triggered, and the sentry killed the heavy right as I blasted the scout with the Widowmaker, bringing my streak up to 11. 11 kills with this terrible loadout. Why? Because I like to go one step beyond. And then I died, and we won. Amazing. I know I didn't show it because I didn't want this video to be too long, but I had to play 17 matches with this awful loadout, and let me tell you, I won't ever be doing this again unless somebody pays me. So if you want more suffering, join the channel and I'll attempt this challenge live. I only promise to attempt it though because I have no clue how I managed to pull this off. That's all. Like, subscribe, and get out. Video's over.